so weird. I didn't even record our dance. It's just really upsetting for me. Can we all dance again? Is Cat frozen? Now keep dancing because Cat's even more frozen.
Actually, okay. Cat's frozen.
All right. So we got the dancing, and now people are going to be like, what the heck? So dancing has been recorded. Resume team call. So ghosting is really important, and you're not annoying your coach. So take those screenshots, send them to them. And it's actually really a lot more important to take a screenshot and send it to them than to just write to them, right? So like if I wrote to you, okay, so Jeff Hill was just messaging me, right? So if I just said, she probably posted, look out for the phone number 310 dash blah, 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 smiley face, stay warm. And you had no idea what came before that. You cannot give me proper advice on what to write back to him, right? You're lost. Did anybody understand anything I just said on that conversation? Not really, right? Like you would have no idea what we're talking about. So I know that was a really weird example, but it's the truth. So if somebody wrote back to you and they were like, you know, I like cardio. And before that, you know, you were already having a conversation with them where they told you that, you know, they had a knee injury and that they're 400 pounds and that they eat pizza every night. And then all you've sent to me is that they like cardio. What should I recommend to her? I'd be like, oh, damn, get her some Insanity Max 30 or some T25. That shit rocks. Totally the wrong recommendations because I didn't see the conversation before that, right? So you can't just say so-and-so said this. What should I say back? Instead, send the screenshot. You're not annoying your coach. They're going to be able to help you better. You're going to learn your conversations. You're going to have better conversations. You're going to do better. You're going to sign people. You're going to help people. You're going to make money. You're going to have an awesome fucking life. So with that said, ghosting is important. You all are going to get with your coach and you're going to sign up for that. Number 2, if your coach all of a sudden dropped off the face of the earth, you wrote to them, they didn't respond to you. Oh my goodness. I thought this conversation was going really well and I haven't heard from my coach in like an hour. Now what? Now what? The world is not going to end. You can do one of 2 things. Go to the team page and ask a question. Go to your upline's upline and ask a question. Throw it in the Find, Share, Invite group and ask the question. Or you can use this beautiful thing called the conversation template. Or you can say, you know what? I'm in the middle of XYZ right now, and I know we're having a really great conversation. I don't want to leave you hanging. I'm going to message you later. Sound cool? And that's fine. Like, people aren't going to die because you didn't answer them right away, right? Mariah's laughing. Why are you giggling over there, giggly face? Look at how giggly she is.
That's not giggling. She's
straight. Seltzer water?
Is there a joke that we need to hear?
I don't know. Why is she giggling? I need information. She's drinking Energize. I love Energize. Can we change the call and make it about Energize tonight? So if you drink Energize before you start having conversations, your conversations also get much better. Because I swear to God, they put like lithium in that. Because you're like, yeah, the world is awesome and I'm happy and I have so much energy and I'm typing really fast and you can do this too. Anyway, all right, so back to the serious stuff. So all right, so those are your options, right? So don't panic if you have a conversation that's going on and you don't want to mess it up. You've got plenty of options and resources to help you if your coach doesn't write back to you at the speed of light. Also, I was going to ask you, Joan, if you were, no, I'm drinking Domain Druin. Yummy. I think it has the same effect. I mean, I took a sip and I literally was like, happiness in a cup right here. So I did get thirsty though.
Bubbles.
My bubbles. All right. So that brings me to, you have an assignment to ghost with your conversations. You know the resources that you can go to if you need to get answers when your coach is not available. And your biggest resource, and it's the one that I want you guys to all print out tonight, or if you have a second screen at home that you work with by your computer, have it up on that while you're doing this, or pull it up on your phone while you're working on your laptop, or whatever you need to do, but have that conversation template in front of you. And last night I was talking to Jen Turner, and I'm not sure she's on the phone because she was having packing like dilemma at her house right now. But she did just get a call from Jeff Hill congratulating her on being a badass in the team cut group. So that's pretty cool. So, I was talking to her and so we were going through her conversations, and in going through her conversations, I was pointing out the conversation template to her. And in doing so, I realized that there's even things within that template that I've changed, that I don't do anymore, or that I don't say anymore, or that I've added to, or things that I was like, you know what, this is really great, but it's missing this piece right here that I always add in. I just take for granted people would know and add in. So I went and I spent probably about
A long time because you lost
a long time, you guys, because I did it for like an hour and then Facebook deleted it and I had to start from scratch. So that happened. So I spent another hour doing it. So I did that for you because I love you. And this business really is all about duplication, right? Like, this should not be rocket science. This should not be super difficult. You should be able, oh my God, puppy. That's like, I mean, literally that was like distraction, like squirrel, like puppy.
That's ridiculous.
OMG. Are you coming to brunch? Can you bring the
your
puppy? I'll bring George. I mean, they won't be allowed in the building, but they can love each other.
They can play.
All right. So,
are you using that to build your business?
What was I talking about? Conversation template. So what I'm going to do with you, and you guys, this might seem really boring for you. And I know if somebody else is on here, they probably saw me do this earlier, but I don't care. We're doing it. Okay. Ready? You ready for the boring stuff? I know I've been so entertaining up until this point. Bringing on the boring. I'm going to go to Evernote so it's not quite.
Come on, boy.
So,
Come on, boy.
sign in. Sorry, my computer's taking a second to pull it up and then I'll share my screen with you. Okay, here we go. So I am going to share my screen. And because I've talked about the conversation template to you so much, but you also know where to find it, it's in the team page in the files section, I want to go over it really quickly with you. Because I sometimes feel like all of a sudden when you go over it, you're like, and you read it out loud to somebody and you tell them why you say certain things and why they're where they are, all of a sudden things start making sense. So does that sound good to everybody, even though it's a little bit more boring? I need a thumbs up or a nod or like a wiggle or like a high five, air five or something happening. Okay. See what I see now. I see they've wiggled enough, Ryan. There's been so much wiggling. We burned calories during this call. All right. So conversation template. This is not the right one. Life is so hard sometimes. We're going to go to the file section. Oh, by the way, did everybody see this picture today? Like that happened. All right.
He loves his life.
He does. That kid really knows how to size it up. All right. Now I just showed you exactly where you can find it. Files section. Click on conversation template and tips. Kablamo. Clicked on it. All right. Cool. So everybody see it? Yes. Cool. All right. So you'll notice at the top, I put a little bit of a note there. That just is telling you that if you're reaching out to somebody directly from a call to action post, what we are calling our hook posts, a challenge group invite post, a sneak peek invite post, whatever it might be, you're going to jump straight down to number 5. You're going to skip over these other 4 steps before that because you are literally going to write to them something along these lines. Awesome, you want it in the group. What are your health and fitness goals? Or thanks for loving my post. Totally keeps me motivated. How are you doing? Any health and fitness goals of your own? Or ever consider joining my challenge group? Or, hey lady, I saw you were interested in the group. What has you interested? Right? That's easy as that. Somebody liked one of those posts, you dive right in and then you skip to number 5. But if you're starting a conversation from scratch, you're going to do it by commenting on something on their page, right? Or if it's somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time, but you know, like maybe like an old friend or something, a lot of the time I use the line, hey, I just saw you pop up in my newsfeed, made me think of you. How have you been? Or if it's somebody you know really well, just don't be a freak. Just be like, hey, what's up? So start your conversations that way. But if it's somebody that you've maybe friended recently on social media and you don't know very well, then you can start it by commenting on something on their page. So for example, maybe I would write to Christina and say, oh my God, that picture of your puppy is so freaking cute. How old is he? Right? And then you wait for the other person to respond. This could be about a kid. This could be about them running in a race. This could be about a dinner they made. This could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about a dog. This is just my example. So you wait for them to respond. Once they've responded, you keep asking questions. You're not going to just jump in and start talking about Beachbody. You're going to be normal and have a normal conversation, like the wonderful example that Ryan and I just gave you. So keep asking questions. What are you up to? How have you been? What's new with you? Or what do you do for work, etc. If you're posting on your page enough, you might get somebody that literally, like, when they write back to you, they respond to what you wrote to them, but they say, oh my God, you look so awesome. Or I see you're killing it lately with your workouts. Good for you. Or something like that. And that is a clear sign that's an open door to start talking about Beachbody, right? But if it takes a minute to get there sometimes, and so you have to keep asking questions. So I gave you another example. So here's an example of questions you could ask if your first thing was about the puppy. Is this your first puppy? You guys in the Portland area? You ever bring him to the beach? Oh my God, my dog loves the beach. Are you from this area originally? Do you work in Portland? What do you do, right? Then you got them to that point in the conversation where they're potentially going to ask you what you do, or ask you where you're from, or ask you what you're interested in. And so tip, if they don't ask you what you do, or, at this time, and you've been talking to them for a while, don't feel afraid to insert an answer. Like, for example, oh, awesome, I work downtown too, and I'm a coach as well. I help people get fit through online accountability groups. You know what I mean? You can add that in. If they just talked about what they do, turn around and say that. If you've had a conversation that's pretty much been dragging crap out of them, and then you ask them where they work, and they give you a one-word answer, that's your time to do something like that. Also, if you continue having conversations with people week after week after week, and you're still talking about dogs and kids and school and whatever, and you really haven't had the chance to talk about health and fitness or challenge groups or Beachbody and things of that nature, then I am okay with you sending a message like this. Hey, this may or may not interest you, but I have a health and fitness accountability group starting up on February, whatever, name your date. Tons of my other, and if it was the dog person, tons of my other dog loving mamas in there. I thought of you. Any health and fitness goals that you're working on, interested in joining at all, I think this might be right up your alley. Really super simple. It's not weird. I'm asking if she's ever considered it, if she's interested in it, letting her know I'm doing it. And we've been talking. I would never send this to somebody I hadn't talked to first. I would never just out of the blue, oh, I friended this person, now I'm going to send it to them. Don't do that. That just makes you look weird. Makes you look like you're just trying to sell them something. You didn't do any relationship building first. So it'd be weird coming from you. All right. So if they do ask you what you do, then always answer with something around these lines. So I do this, I do that, and I'm a health and fitness coach. I help people reach their goals through online accountability groups. Ever considered joining one? Any goals you're working on? Or if this feels better, I'm currently doing awesome. Just busy with work, traveling, doing something fun. And I'm currently, or spending time with your kid. Insert whatever here, you guys. And I'm killing it currently with my workouts, which feels great. How about you? Any goals of your own for spring coming up, right? Or if you were just coming out of the new year, being for your New Year's resolutions. Or if you're going into, oh, kids are going back to school for back to school season. Make it work with the time. Yeah. Spring break, that sort of thing. Or I'm doing awesome. I'm working, doing whatever here, and I've been busy running, some of my challenge groups. It's all good. Ever considered joining one? Now, again, after you've dropped one of those, wait for them to respond. And now they're either going to ask you what a challenge group is. So if they do, just go to number 7 right here. Or they'll tell you what their goals are, right? And if they tell you what their goals are, skip number 7 and just go right to number 8. So let's just say they ask you what a challenge group is. So now it's your time to say, it's a group that's all about accountability, motivation, and support. It takes place on an app where we have you track your workouts. You can even track your measurements and weight and progress pics. You're able to share as much or as little as you would like with me or the group. We have daily posts in there for you. We share recipes, meal plans, prep tips, fit tips, do fun challenges, share sweaty selfies, etc. It's really fun and a great way to stay accountable to reach your goals. What are they? That's easy, right? You just built the value of the challenge group. And then, if they give you your goals, or if you've skipped right to 8, dig deep on those, right? This is your time to listen. This is not your time to be listened to. You know, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that ratio. You know, this is your time to be interested in somebody, not to be interesting. It is not your time to sell the crap out of what you're doing and say why you're so awesome as a coach, or say why your challenge groups are so good, or say how you've lost so much weight, or say how you love T25 or insanity and go into all of that. This is about them. And I find that a detour a lot of new coaches take is because they're nervous about being salesy, they almost become more salesy. Like they project their own reality, right? Because they're asking these questions and they're worried that at the end they're going to think that they were only asking these questions because they were trying to sell them something. Instead, they jump right in and they start talking about the programs and products. And that's like the way to be the most salesy, because you didn't listen to anything that they just said. You didn't find a solution for them. You didn't talk to them about what they're struggling about. All you did was put a program and a product in front of them with no value, saying, here, buy this from me. So don't do that. Dig deep into their why. Listen to them. You know, find out what they need and how you can help them. And this is the part of the conversation that takes the most time, and it should take the most time. This is where you spend most of it, okay? And no, make sure to dig deep into the answer. So if they say, lose weight, great. How much? If they say, just get healthier, great. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to tone up? Do you want to eat better? Like, what does get healthier mean to them? It could mean something completely different to them than it means to you. What is your biggest struggle? Tell me more about your health and fitness background. I love that question. If you just say that right from the beginning, somebody's going to start telling you a little bit about their backstory, right? And then you can even dig deeper and ask more questions once you know that. How long have you been trying to lose the weight? How's your nutrition? You guys, I don't know if some of you know this, but like one of my guilty pleasures is The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I don't know if any of you watch it, but I don't really care if people judge me because it is my unhealthy obsession. But that is like most mornings I wake up, yes, Brianne. That like most mornings I wake up and I just get to work, right? I start doing my personal development. I drink my shake. I do my workout. I meditate, and then I jump in with helping my coaches and doing my power hour and stuff like that. On Tuesday mornings, because I don't watch TV at night, I pop that bad boy on with a cup of coffee and I snuggle up there and I start watching it. And it's just like, feels so good to be sitting there watching it. And I looked at Ryan, may or may not be his guilty pleasure too. And I looked at Ryan and I said, he had gone on a date with, so if you watched it, he went on a date with Christina. And Christina is a girl who was born in Russia, was adopted by her parents, I think in like California or something like that. I don't remember exactly where they're from. She had 4 other adopted siblings, and then the parents who adopted her had like 4 other kids. And she has a half sister that's in Russia. She starts talking about her story. She starts talking about how as a kid, her mom told her not to eat anything because they didn't have money and they had no food in the house. And she left her for hours. She was only like 5 or 6 years old. And she was so hungry, she ate a stick of lipstick because it didn't taste good, but she wanted to eat something. So she ate it, right? And so she talked about her mom got home and was so mad and disappointed with her. She kicked her out or told her to get out. And as a 5 or 6-year-old kid, she thought that she was being really serious. So she left. And she ended up in an orphanage and growing up there for a while. And then she told her story about how easy it is to go into prostitution in Russia and how that's really the only out. But for her, when she turned 12 years old, she had the option to come to America and be adopted. And so she did. And I looked at Ryan and I was like, this entire time we've been watching this show, I've kind of been like, meh, I don't really like that girl. And after her story, I was so obsessed and so in love with her and felt like I knew her more, and I wanted to know more and more and more and more. And so just like sharing your story and sharing your journey on social media is what attracts people to you, makes them know, like, and trust you, and then want to be on your bus, right? It's the same thing. When we start listening to other people's stories and we dig deep with those questions, we get to know them better. We like them better. We want to help them more. And it digs into that relationship and it makes for a much better outcome. So take your time there and ask a shit ton of questions. And don't be worried about losing the sale because you're taking too long over here and you just want to get to the order. Don't worry about that. Spend time with this person and I promise you, it will work out. Because even if they don't purchase right then and there, they're going to remember that you might have been the one and only person who asked them those questions or took the time to talk to them that day, right? And when they're ready, they're going to remember you. So keep that in mind. I know that was a really long explanation for number 8. Okay. Number 9, once they let you know what their goals are, then you can start asking if they would like a recommendation. I don't just jump in and give people recommendations. I ask them if they want one. So I say, thank you so much for sharing that all with me. Would you like me to recommend something based on your goals that could, that you could follow in the group that will get you there? And I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, the person says yes. Once in a great while, they'll say, I'm just going to do my own thing. But even then, I don't stop. I can still help them, right? So that's when I say, so then once they say they'd like a recommendation, that's when I start digging in with like what they like to do for a workout. So I usually, ask them like, what do you like to do for a workout? How long can you spend? Questions like, are you doing anything currently? What would you say your fitness level is at? Are you looking for a challenge? Want to start with something slower? Do you typically like cardio, strength training, yoga, dance, kickboxing, a mix of stuff? How's your diet, your nutrition? What do you like to eat? Are you good with portions? What's your biggest struggle there? All of those questions that's going to help me be able to say, okay, this program or this program is going to be the perfect fit for this person who is struggling with this, going through this. This is their backstory. This is what they like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now I can make an educated decision. So based on their answers, I always recommend 2 programs. You guys, sometimes I know the number 1 program that I want to recommend for them, and it's the one I want them to choose. And when I describe it to them, I kind of lean a little more towards it, and I'll tell them that I'm leaning more towards it. But I always recommend 2 because I want them to have a choice. And the reason is then when I go back to them to ask them, if they've watched the videos, etc., I can ask them which they're leaning towards rather than what do you think. I don't ever want the words, what do you think, coming out of your mouth, because you don't care what they think. The programs we have work. I don't give a what they think. I know they work, and I'm suggesting them to them because they work. So tell me which one you're leaning towards. Which one do you think you'll like best? Also, don't give them more than 2 choices. When you give them more than 2 choices, you confuse them. And when somebody feels like they're making the wrong decision, they won't make one at all. So keep it really simple. All right. So when you recommend the 2, then you say, would you like me to send you a quick video clip on them so you can check them out and see what you like better? Notice I'm asking them again, right? So I've asked them all of these questions, and then I've asked them if they want a recommendation, and they say yes. And then I've asked them if they want me to send them the clip, and they say yes. I'm getting a lot of yeses out of them before we even get to the part where we're talking about money. And also, I've spent all of that time with them building the value that's there for them with how this is going to help them with their problem. And they know it is because
Next door neighbor already knew that.
no, Jen, I think that you're not on mute. If you want to mute yourself. Hold on. That's okay. I just did it for you. So, if you let me just cross this out. So, and they know that about them now. You've talked about it. You know that this is the right fit for them. And then when you're recommending them, you can build the value for them. So the value is there. They trust you. They know that what you're telling them is going to work. And when you spend your time here, you're going to spend a lot less time dealing with objections. Does that make sense? Yeah. So here's my example of how I would recommend something. I would recommend either a 21-day fix or 22-minute hardcore. They both give you a mix of strength training and cardio, etc. They are both less than 30 minutes a day and come with amazing nutrition programs that will really help you with portioning out your food. The biggest difference is that 22 is more like basic training type moves, and 21 incorporates some Pilates and yoga, etc. So they're awesome, but it's more about what you like and enjoy best. Ask them if they want this on the video. They say yes. Okay, right? So it's important to ask and not just send. Get that yes from them. Then when you send it, say, they're only 2 minutes long. Take a peek and let me know what you're leaning towards. Are you going to watch it right now? Guys, I ask that because if I say that and they say, yeah, I'm going to watch it right now, I'll stick around, right? And I'll be expecting that they message me back in a few minutes. But if they can't watch it right now because they're in a meeting at work and they've been typing me silently underneath the table, or they're driving, or they're making dinner, or they're putting the kids to bed, or they're doing whatever, instead of me sitting there and being like, hey, did you watch it? Hey, did you watch it? Hey, did you watch it? I can know that they're busy and that they're going to watch it later, and they'll tell me that, and then I'll say, great. If I don't hear back from you tonight, I'll go ahead and message you tomorrow morning. And that way I've set up my follow-up too. So it doesn't feel weird when I'm checking back in with them. They're expecting it. And so they're going to also put more of a priority on watching the videos because they know I'm going to follow up with them. Okay. So we talked about that. Given 2 choices. Talked about leaning towards it. Got it. Got it. All right. So if, like I already told you guys, if they said like, no, they're going to do their own thing, I go into this right here. You can read that later. All right. 11. Once they tell you what program they like, I want you to reiterate. Yes, that's absolutely the one I was leaning towards for you as well. Reiterate their goals, how this is going to get them there, how much they're going to love it, build up the group and how that's going to help them. And during those conversations, when you're finding out what they struggle with, whether it be motivation or time or whatever, those are the things you focus on later too in the conversation. When you're telling them how it's going to help them, group is totally going to help you with that accountability. You have me as your coach. I'm going to check in with you, yada, yada, yada. Like pick that pain point or that struggle for them and then continue to reiterate how this is going to help them with that here. I love, 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 love the book Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, where he starts talking about John Lennon, who it is the guy's actual name, is a realtor down in Miami who sells like a ridiculous amount of real estate a year, like $4 billion in real estate. And he said he doesn't sell, $1 million condos. He sells $1 million closet. He sells $1 million parking space. He sells $1 million view or $1 million gym, because he talks to people and gets to know them, gets to know their needs and what they're really looking for. And then he sells that same condo that everybody else is looking at based on that one particular need. So that's what you're doing with these conversations too. All right. So at this point, they've told us we're excited, building that value. And then we say, I'm so excited for you. What's your email and what flavor Shakeology would you like to try in your challenge pack? Big tip here, guys. I never, ever, 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 ever talk to somebody through all of this and have them pick a program and then turn around and go, and so I think you should do Shakeology too. I keep them together. I don't separate them. I don't say, oh, you can have a challenge pack or you can just the program. I don't get into any of that. I just say, what's your email and what flavor Shakeology would you like to try in your challenge pack? Now, usually they just tell me their flavor. They may ask what flavor. Some people ask, and I'm like, you know what? My favorite's vegan chocolate, but we've got chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, vegan tropical, strawberry, cafe latte, blah, 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 blah. And then they choose one, right? If they ask what Shakeology is, which I actually really very rarely get, but you would think they would, but they don't. But if they do, you can just say it's a whole foods-based, superfood protein shake that can be used as a snack or a meal replacement. It's going to be it has been instrumental in my journey, and I highly recommend it. Will curb your cravings for crap food, boost your energy, and help you lose weight and gain muscle. Or you can say it's a superfood protein shake. It's freaking awesome. I drink it once a day. You can do it as a meal or a snack, and you're going to freaking love it. It's going to help you reach whatever those goals were that they just said. Reiterate them, right? So if they're still asking questions about Shakeology after you've kind of given them an explanation or pushing back against it or giving you any Shakeology objections, you can go to that Shakeology objections sheet that we have in the files section of the team page and check that out. Or you can send them to a couple different videos. So if you look in the files section of the Team Project Fearless page, it says my favorite Shakeology videos. That's a file I have in there. And there's 2 links in there to my favorite ones that I like to share with people when they're asking me about Shakeology. So those are there for you. Not part of this, but you can go there and look when you have time. All right. So after the flavor. Okay, so you have a couple options, I said I can send you just the challenge pack for the, let's say, for this example, I'm going to use the 21-day fix. Or I can set you up with an all-access pass. Which would you prefer? If they say, what's the difference? Then I say, well, with the 21-day fix challenge pack, you get the workouts. So 7 different workouts all on DVD. 30-day supply of Shakeology shake, portion control containers, a nutrition guide, workout calendar, access to my group, as well as me as your coach, and bonus DVDs and ordering through me, and access to Beachbody On Demand, where you can stream your workouts almost immediately from any device with Wi-Fi, and you can access up to $4,000 worth of other Beachbody programs for 30 days, all for just $160. And I was able to say that fast, you guys, because I wasn't reading. That's from memory, because I say that often. So there you go. Or You can get the all on-demand, all-access pass, which is an incredible deal. You get a 30-day supply of Shakeology, Shakeology Shaker Cup, the portion fixed nutrition plan, the color-coded portion control containers, access to on-demand for an entire year, where you can access all Beachbody programs ever made in their entirety, plus BOD exclusives, the Challenge du Jour, the Fixate, our cooking show, as well as our new programs launching in 2017, which we're expecting 4 to 5 new programs this year, all for just $40 more. It's pretty crazy, and I love that we can move you through to the next right program throughout the year, making it your healthiest year yet without you having to purchase more programs. Which would you prefer? I used this very sentence today, and I had somebody get back to me immediately and say, all access pass in the vegan combo, please. Easy as that. So I'm sharing this with you because I actually use it. It actually comes out of my mouth. You can actually copy and paste, okay? Don't make life hard. 13, once they decide and you send the email, I don't ask either about coach or customer. Now, these days, because I'm going to say that for you. Once you are a very strong diamond and you're like, like very strong, like if somebody drops off, it's not going to affect your rank, then I may give them the option between customer and coach. But until then, I just sign them up all as coaches, right? So once they decide, send the email through Mobile Enroller. I give you the link right here, so you don't even have to go look it up if you're using the template. After you've sent the email, this is what you say. Okay, so I just sent you the email to order. It will come from teambeachbody.com, so if you don't see it in a minute, check spam. I set you up as a coach so that you can take advantage of the awesome 25% discount moving forward on Shakeology and any other programs, products, and supplements. There's also the opportunity for you to make money like me if you're interested. If not, you're not obligated to, but it's awesome for the discount. Make sense? Let me know when you finish so I can make sure everything went through okay. And so I send that. When they've finished enrolling, and this is a really important step, you guys, so I'm going to highlight it for you right now. Yay! Awesome. So excited for you. So I know I said there's no obligation to coach like me or anything, but would you be interested in learning more about it and how I can help you earn your challenge pack money right back and then some? When they say yes to this, you guys, or like, how would you do that? Or maybe eventually, what does that take? That's your open door to start talking about coaching, not just challenge groups and nutrition and, their workouts. And when you do this, I just say, honestly, when you get everything, or even now, we can just throw a post up on social media. And if somebody's interested in joining the group with you, I'll help you have a conversation with them, and we can get a friend or two in the group with you, and it'll help you make your money back. Sounds pretty easy, right? So then somebody does that. We help them with their first initial wins by ghosting their conversations. And then they go, wow, that was pretty easy. Imagine if I sold more of these. Imagine if I became an amazing coach and I made lots of money and I could quit my job. And then you're like, there you go. Have a nice life. Good times, right? Cool. All right, general combo tips, and then we're done. Don't answer questions they didn't ask. Don't just fill in gaps in time because you just are nervous and feel like talking. It's a really huge, huge thing that new coaches do. They kind of vomit Beachbody all over people. If you see like a lot of blue text in that messenger and not so much gray, it means you're talking too much. So don't ask questions. Don't answer questions they didn't ask. Always wait in between questions for them to respond. And if it's been a while, like a day, you can jump back and follow up, but don't start a whole new conversation. Follow up where you left off. Hey, I know our conversation got cut short the other day, but I did want to circle back around to you. What were those goals? Real easy like that, right? So follow up. If they have the clips and you haven't heard back, right? Hey, checking in. Which one are you leaning towards? Or if the last question you asked they didn't respond to, hey, wanted to circle back around. How are you doing today? I know you said you were interested in joining the group. What are your goals? Or I know you said you want to lose X amount of weight. What do you typically like doing? Don't make the follow-ups weird. Just start where you left off and reference something that you said before. If they just want the program after you've gone over all of the Shakeology stuff, just set them up as a customer with the program. And if they're not going to purchase, you just say, cool, what's your email? I'll add you in the group, but my only requirement is that you become a free customer of mine so you can be in the group, I can be your coach, and I can share things with you. The other option, you guys, is that awesome freaking 30-day free trial of Beachbody On Demand. And you can walk them through how they could do the challenge du jour or pick a program for 30 days that they could do that's free on there. So even if they sign as a discount coach, I tell them, please let me know when you get your package. Because once they do, then I will say to them again, even if I ask the question above, hey, if you feel comfortable, post a pic of your package. And that's kind of dirty, huh?
Yeah, Please don't say it like that.
Don't say that to dudes. That's weird. It's kind of like with girls. You wouldn't want to be like, post a picture of your box. Like, we just, let's not go
Rephrase.
Rephrase. Your challenge pack.
Yeah, there we go. Be specific.
And and whatever. We'll post. You got it. You get the point. Anyways, give them wording for that post too. That's super easy, right? Like, don't make them have to think about it. Be like, here's a post, throw it up. People like it, I'll help you, right? Just take a picture and throw it up there with it. Don't prejudge people. I didn't want to do this biz, and now it's all I do. Don't think, oh, this person's a lawyer, they have it all, or this person's a doctor, or this person has no money, or this person is this. Like, just talk to people. And in fact, if they're on your hairy, scary list of people to reach out to, probably means they'd be an awesome coach. So just reach out, because if you don't, somebody else will. Don't shop with your own wallet, right? Like, if you were somebody who was really concerned about price and stuff at first, that was just you. That doesn't mean that's everybody else. So don't do that for other people. Never sign someone with just Shakeology. Never, ever, ever, ever do it. It's silly. The cheapest challenge pack is the same price. Actually, it's cheaper if you set them up as a coach and explain that to them, and then just do it that way. And I'm not sure if I missed anything, but if you have any questions while you're having combos, you can let your coach know and they can ghost them. See how easy that is? Really, really good information. I just taught you how to coach right there. I just taught you everything you need to know about coaching right there in 40 minutes. Everything.
You're welcome.
Any questions? No? Okay. We have 15 minutes left. I want to hear from you. I want to hear. So if you don't ask a question, I'm just going to start picking people. That's scary, right? I hated it when teachers did that. I was like, no, not me. Ah. Which seems really weird because I talk so much, but whatever.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
This is Chrissy.
So
you and I have been going back and forth about a couple of people that I've been talking to.
Yeah.
So there was one person that we talked about yesterday that was gung-ho. She wants to lose so much weight, and her girlfriend too, blah, 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 blah. And then she's going to do her budget over the weekend and see if she can afford the Shakeology. And then I'll get back to you on Monday, heard nothing. So we followed back up with her yesterday, still nothing.
Okay.
So just let it go for a while. Like, how do you do?
So don't get in your head and start freaking out and being like, oh, she's avoiding me and ignoring me and she doesn't want to talk to me anymore.
Right, no. Right.
Instead, think maybe she's got some shit going on, or maybe she's busy. A lot of the times, if I feel like people kind of fall off for a bit, I will actually go over to their social media platforms and see if they've posted recently.
Okay.
And so sometimes if they haven't posted recently, you'll be like, okay, something must be going on and they've stepped away for a second. Or maybe they post something that is going on. Like maybe they had a child injury, or maybe they, had a family member get sick or something like that. So keep that in mind. And then I would wait. So today is Wednesday. I would probably wait till like Saturday morning. Saturday mornings are fantastic, you guys, for working your business. If you can put an hour in on a Saturday morning, I swear to God, you get more done than if you work all week. And I'm not saying do that because just like you wouldn't save up all of your workouts for 7 days and do them all in one day, you don't do that for your conversations either, right? Yeah, because that's just dumb.
Yeah.
So, Saturday morning, maybe just send her a message and be like, hey, didn't want to bug. Hadn't heard back from you. Knew you must be busy, but I also know you were really pumped to get started, and I want to make sure that I circle back around and help you.
Okay.
And that's just easy as that. Easy as that.
So I have a question kind of off of that. This is Emily. And I post this in the team page, same thing. I've had people that are super interested and, I need to wait till payday, or I have a big thing coming up. I want to get started after. And awesome, thanks. And, check back in with them when they've, whatever date they've given me, and no answer. Then what? How long after you've checked back in with them?
Do you just say awesome, thanks? Really? And ask
No. I get paid next week, or I have this big event this date, so-and-so. And so, wait a little bit, check back in with them after whatever time frame they've given me, and then nothing. And then, how do you follow up after you've already checked back in?
Okay, so paydays are tough because if somebody is saying, I literally don't have the money right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here, I'm going to tell you this first. Here's a Carl Deichler suggestion that he actually called and talked to me about last summer. But he said, why don't you just whip out well, you're really excited about it right now. Why wait? Like, why wait for your motivation to wear away, just like we all do with like all of our like all of our goals and stuff, and then, you know, and not do it? Like, do you have a credit card you can put it on and then pay the credit card off on your payday? And if they legitimately are like, I literally have like not a penny to my name till payday.
Yeah.
Say, okay, awesome. What day do you get paid? And when they tell you, say, okay, I'm going to send you a note Thursday night. Like if they get paid Friday morning, I'm going to send you a note Thursday night. I'm going to send you the enroller then as well. And then I'll follow up with you Friday morning to make sure that we got you through. Okay. Sound good?
Okay.
And then they'll say yes. Now you can't control everybody. And if they disappear off the face of the planet, you know, I wouldn't keep going like, hey, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it today? Did you do it? Like, why didn't you do it today? Oh my God, now it's Saturday. Why didn't you do it? You got paid yesterday. Did you run out of money? Now did you use your money for everything else and you're not going to have money again? Don't do that. Instead, just step away and realize that crap comes up and maybe they got an unexpected bill and they're embarrassed that they can't still pay for it or something of that nature. So instead, I would wait a few days after the day that they were supposed to and never got back to you and never responded to you. And then I would just say, hey, you know, I just wanted to make sure that you knew you're still on my radar. You know, maybe something came up and you couldn't get started on payday. That's totally cool. Just communicate with me. We'll get you started when you're ready. You know, what happened? What's holding you back?
Okay.
The other thing is if somebody has a date of XYZ coming up, they're going on a trip, they're doing this, they're doing that. I always am like, well, then why not order now so it's here for you when you get back and you can get started with no excuses.
Okay.
I literally say that like all the time. And people are like, yeah, okay. And right now with the All Access Pass, you're like, all right, but this deal's gone like February 28th. So it's now or never, homie.
Okay.
I also word it like that.
You have started saying homie a lot.
I say homie a lot, and I say Brian makes fun of me because I say the word rad all the time. But you know what? I don't care because I'm cooler than you. All right. What else? Who else?
I think so.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Jen.
Hi. Okay, so how about starting convos with a male who liked or commented on your post, but he wasn't direct, so you're not really sure, you know, what his intentions or thoughts were, where he's at. How do you go about that? Because that's a little awkward for me.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I think it is for a lot of people. And honestly, I think, you know, male coaches, Mr. Crocker over here and Tony,
Well, he's a goofball.
sometimes I think it's harder to reach out to the opposite sex, period. But what I think is this. First of all, and I'll just be honest, I don't friend any males that I don't know in real life. So the men who are on my social media are people I know. And so I think that like it helps not blur lines within like your relationship and with everything else, and builds that trust with the males that are liking your posts. Also, but I friend a crap ton of females I don't know. So with that said, if it is somebody you know, it's not as awkward. But either or, if somebody likes a post that you put up that has to do with with self-care, with health and fitness, with personal development, with challenge groups, with anything like that, if you just reference the post and jump right in with like, you know, hey, I noticed you liked my post on, you know, my fitness journey. I run health and fitness challenge groups. Are you interested in joining one? Like with a man, I would be even more straightforward, you know, like
more blunt.
yeah, I wouldn't say like, you know, have any health and fitness goals? I would be like, were you interested in joining, dude? Done.
Get to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot quicker.
Yeah, because I had this one guy recently who showed the interest, liked my post. Next thing you know, it was, oh, well, I thought you were cute. As soon as I said what I was doing and blah, 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 it was like, okay, see ya. I'm like, oh, go figure.
Annoying and like
Guys are so
Very annoying.
annoying and like disrespectful. And I'm not gonna say it's just dudes either. Kat's had some lesbians hit on her.
Sorry.
I'm not joking, you know. So Ryan's had some dudes hit on him. So I'm not gonna blame it just on the dude race.
Straight up wanted to send me underwear pics.
Yeah.
Like, she worked for Victoria's Secret and like wanted to send me pictures of her in her new underwear to
so
see.
I'm not gonna blame it just on men, but it does happen a lot more with men.
So one of the things
Heterosexual men, to be exact.
one of the things I would
Mariah.
if you're having a conversation with, say, a guy, and you're starting that conversation,
Can you guys see him? I can't see us on the screen, so I have no idea.
I can see him.
being direct is fantastic, and referencing the post is a perfect recommendation, but go into their friends list and see who their friends are, and go through their Facebook feed and see what they post about. Kind of get a feel for that person, and you can do this with anybody. Kind of get a feel for what they post about, what they talk about. If you see they're into fitness, if you see them posting gym selfies, if you see them out with their wife or girlfriend, if you see them on a ski trip with their buddies, chances are they're going to be pretty normal to talk to.
Yeah, that's true too.
So that's one other option.
Yeah. So, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, this guy.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. Well, this guy worked at a gym, you know, and he was health and fitness and whatnot. That's what you could tell from his Facebook. So I thought, okay, yeah, all right. Here's a chance.
Well, yeah, I would say just be really, really, really direct. And, you know, if they're still like that, then you just block and move on. Lesson release.
Block and move on.
I'm gonna call on somebody.
I actually have a question. Can you hear me?
Yay! Go, Shelby.
So I have a girl who she like messaged me initially. She actively promotes Plexus. And
Yeah.
so like I didn't message her first because like I know that
Yep.
you know they have their own thing. So she messaged me and asked me for a workout recommendation, and she like we did the whole video thing, and she wants the 21-day fix. So then I was like, okay, like what kind of shake do you want? And that's when she kind of said that she needed to wait until payday and all that stuff. And then she's like, well, Plexus already have shakes, so I don't know if I need them.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure how to respond to that because I don't know about the Plexus product.
Okay. So what I would ask her is I would have started by saying, well, do you just drink Plexus right now, or are you a rep for them?
But yeah, she's a rep, I think.
Because if she's a rep, you might have a hard time
Yeah.
transitioning her. And I'm never trying to get somebody to leave their jam to come over, even though Shakeology is better. So, and I can honestly say that because I've looked at the ingredients of whatever's in Plexus. They've got like soy protein isolate and maltodextrin and all that crap. But I also don't ingredient compare with anybody either. And I don't want to badmouth something that they like. So I would say, you know what? I'm really not sure about Plexus, but what I do know is that for Shakeology, it's based on all whole foods. It has no soy in it. And for me, it has absolutely helped me with my energy. It's helped regulate my digestion. It's helped my skin and nails and hair. And honestly, it just gets me through my workouts. So I'm not sure if what you're drinking does all that for you, but I would highly recommend giving it a try for 30 days. And if you don't love it, you can send it back for 100% money back guarantee. And I know I didn't write that down for you, but you can always rewatch this video and listen to that and just type it out.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I just didn't want to be too pushy. Like I didn't really know how to.
Yeah, I mean, this whole business is sharing. It's not about being pushy. And if somebody, I think, you know, sometimes you really need to think of it as like, okay, what if I was a 15-star millionaire coach? How would I respond to this person? You know, like if I didn't need them to go diamond, how would I respond to them as a human being and be that person? And that person's going to have a lot more coaches on their team.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. If I'm quiet long enough, they all freak out and they're like, oh my God, she's going to pick me. So they just pop up.
Somebody's going to step up. Who's going to be? Tony looks.
Tony!
I was looking at Tony. I'm like, he looks like.
It's going to be.
Oh, hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I was looking at my combo. I was like, I need to make sure I have it like in my mind. So, I had this, one of my lovely friends that I connect with from working with a long time ago. Mm-hmm. She actually sent like me a message saying, hey, what are 3 awesome things about Beachbody and what you love about it, blah, blah, blah. And I told her what I loved about it, told her just really from my own experience, told my story.
Yep.
And then she was like, great, sounds good. What else? I'm sorry. So let's see. Sorry. And then I said that there is going to be because she posts a lot of gym selfies and stuff like that. And I was like,
Mhm.
great. So there's going to be this health deck coming up, and I know you're into fitness.
Yep.
Would this be right up your alley? And she said, yeah, send me some info about it. And I was like,
Mhm.
awesome. So I did that. And then I know also she was interested in the All Access Pass. So I sent her the enroller. She was really into it. And then she was like, well, after taking a look at my finances, I really can't do it right now, and have a great 2017. And this is how I responded back to her.
Mhm.
I told her, I completely understand.
Mhm.
Let's see here. I completely understand. I know that for me at first, I was a little worried about being able to afford it, but I knew that there was a money back guarantee.
Yep.
30-day.
Yep.
You can return checkout anytime, no questions asked. I'll follow up with you. I had to change something to get myself back on track. I knew if it was important, I would find a way.
Mhm.
And also I was able to introduce it to 3 to 4 people, and I was able to initially
I think that's a great
earn
response.
back.
Perfect.
I think that's a
And
brilliant response.
nothing after that.
Okay. How long
But
ago was that?
that was January 3rd. And now she's in my challenge group as a customer because she couldn't do it. So
Okay.
she's in because I was like, I need to go at this because I know that she was seeking me out for some reason.
Okay. She's in there, Tony.
Yeah.
I think what it means is, and you guys, you have to remember this too. A lot of people become embarrassed when it comes to finances. I have somebody who would be an amazing, amazing coach, right? And she was like, I'm going to kill this thing. And like, I can't wait. I'm signing it tonight. And then she dropped off and I didn't hear from her. Like, followed up, didn't hear from her, followed up, didn't hear from her, followed up, and like messaged her finally. I'm like, girly, what happened? Like, did I do something to upset you? And she was like, no, I'm just embarrassed because I can't afford it right now, and went to go do it, and yada, yada, yada. And she's like, and I'm not sure when I'm going to have the money to do it. And I'm going through this, this, and this with my finances right now. And I said, okay. I said, so let's either one, set a plan. So like you just send me $10 a week or something like that through PayPal, and we'll collect it there. And then when it's all done, I'll send it back to you and you can go and purchase your pack. In the past, and I don't really recommend this, but if there's somebody who's a really tight person to you, I have lent money to somebody before, but only if they're like really, really like almost family type, because you're really not technically supposed to do it. I don't know if you are supposed to or not. And at the same time, like, if it's a stranger and you just send them money, like who knows if they'd send it back to you. So be careful with that. But I've done that a lot with people. I've set a plan with them and just said, hey, let's set this plan moving forward where you just send me a little bit, each week or every 2 weeks for like a while. And I ask them how much they think they'd be able to do, and we go from there. I did that actually. Amanda Smetchel used to be a coach on our team. I did that with her. I collected money with her for like 2 months before she signed up. Also, I mentioned, do you have a credit card? Like, do you have a credit card? Because if you do, I can help you, sign enough coaches that we make that money back in time before you even get hit with the finance charge, and you can put it towards that. So there's a few different options, but if it's just money, and then that's another thing too. She's kind of in your ecosystem now. She's in the group. She's stuff like that. I'd be like, girl, you're in the group. You're loving it. I know you reached out to me for a reason. I know you wanted to get started, and that money had been in your way. I just wanted to follow up to see if anything had changed with that, or to see if I can help you in any way, and just start the conversation there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes. Lynn says I have a few waiting for their tax return to sign up. Yeah, I have a few of those too. I wish I still got tax returns. Instead, I just owe them so much money. Sign my life away. You're welcome, government. All right, who else? Quick. Time for one more.
Anybody?
I'll go.
Who is this?
Kim.
Kim.
Okay. Hi, Kim.
What's up, Kim?
Okay.
I have to like scan and be like, who's talking?
You're hearing voices. Okay. So I just started talking to this guy that I used to go to school with.
Yep.
And I'm going through the form method.
Yep.
And he used to be a football player. So I tried to incorporate that to see if he was still working out, if he was still trying to stay in shape.
Mm-hmm.
His profile pictures didn't look like it, but I figured it was worth asking to try to get in there. So I talked to him today, and I told him that, or I asked him, or excuse me, I said, I'm pretty sure that you're pretty busy at work. And so then I asked him if he still had time to work out. And he's liked a couple of my posts regarding food. So there's some kind of interest there.
Yeah.
And then he told me today that he ended up messing up his knee and he hadn't been able to do anything. So, oh no, when did you do that? Did you need to have surgery? Because it sounded like it was something in the past.
Yep.
And,
yeah.
And he just said that he just messed it up and he hasn't been to the doctor. That's the end of our conversation because he was typing while we were on the call. So I know I should probably go into it a little bit more. But then I just started the yoga retreat, the 3-week yoga retreat, which seems to be pretty simple. I mean, so do you think that essentially that could be a good one to promote to him since it's
so I don't think you're at a point where you can start talking programs with him yet, but
I don't think so.
I would start asking more about the injury. I'd be like, so are you able to walk around on it at this point? Is it keeping you from physical activity that you want to do? Are you looking to lose weight and shape up? Like, are you frustrated that you can't move? Like those sorts of things, right? So once you get down to the nitty gritty, like what he's able to do and what his goals are, then you can, really recommend it. So for instance, I have a girl who's been in our challenge group who recently had back surgery. She couldn't do anything. Right. She hadn't even started her PT yet, but I was like, you know what though, you can absolutely get started on your nutrition and start there. And so I recommended the 21-day fix to her. She started following the portion control system. She started drinking Shakeology and she lost 15 pounds in 21 days just doing that. So, taking weight off of his injured knee is not going to only help him, but and serve him better. But he could always start there. So once you know the gist of like what he's allowed to do or what he can and can't do, then I would think about that. And if it's nothing, then start with portion control and, maybe even talk about doing the all access pass so that he can do some of those BOD exclusives like the 3-week yoga retreat, or like they actually are just coming out. I don't know if you guys know about this, but they're actually coming out with phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 yoga that goes directly with the ultimate reset phases. It's literally specifically designed for it, and it comes out later this month. So that's another one where it's going to be real light movement, so that's another one that he could access. Also, not to be afraid of doing something that, he might need to use modifications for, but that could do. So knee injuries can be tricky, but they're also, it's really dependent on what type of knee injury it is. Like, some people can't do like a lot of like, you can't get on the floor and do surrenders, but you can still do some squats, or like you can't like be jumping around, but you can still do squats or whatever it might be. So I would ask more questions and then go from there, but you have something to offer him regardless of whether he can move around or not. But you need to know his goals first.
The only other thing I was going to add is always recommend consulting a physician if he's injured something. If anybody on this call ever speaks to somebody that has an injury and they haven't gone to the doctor yet, before you go into, making those types of recommendations, have them consult a physician first to see if there's any physical limitations. You don't want them injuring themselves worse or pushing them past a certain point. So we're trying to help them not hurt them any more than they already are. So I think that's a really good point to bring up. And there's a lot of coaches that have worked through injuries, a lot of challengers that have worked through injuries. So I think it's important to touch base on that as well, and just make sure that you're bringing that up with them so they don't think you're just trying to sell them something and they're not healed yet.
Yeah. I like talking about nutrition with people like that, because if they're hurt, then, something like the portion fix containers is awesome for them. Get them going on nutrition to really work at that, because that's kind of the hardest part for some people, so that when he's healed, he's ready to go. He can just start working out.
Or, ecology.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's at the end of our day together, folks.
So long, farewell.
Don't miss me too much. I'm still here. Just not on this call. All right. All right. Done being weird. Thank you guys all for joining this call. I will go ahead and post the recording kind of when I get to it. So I say this with love, but you know what? If you're on this call and you got the goodies, you don't really care, right? But if you didn't make the call, you're going to be upset about it. But and you know me, I'm kind of mean sometimes. So I'm like, if it wasn't your top priority to get on the call, it's kind of not my top priority to post the call ASAP. So it's kind of my trick to make people get on the call. I know I'm sneaky. I'm very, very sneaky, sir. So anyways, I will post it, but it probably won't be right away. So if you guys have anybody asking you questions as to why not, I have other things that come first. So it will be posted when it's posted. And if you have questions, you can go ahead and post them in the FSI group underneath the post that I put up tonight. You know where to find the conversation template. You know where to find your coach. Get at it. Have more convos. Nail it. Kill it. Love you. Peace, guys.